In this video, we're going to talk about the program completion / follow-up tab in the JTED system. To reach this page, when you access JTED, you'll select the customer's name and you'll be taken to their overview page. And then you just need to click the program completion follow-up tab. On this page, you can add a number of different things, including you can update their completion status. So this customer is currently in the program, but they still have open services. And because we have this customer has open services message, when we go to edit complete the status, we'll get a prompt saying to make sure the services are updated to reflect that they have been completed before updating the status. So what I'll need to do is go back to the training services tab and update the services that are still outstanding. So in this case, we can see that there's 2 services here. And in the example, since this is just test, we're going to go ahead and remove this one service. But this other service we need to update here. So when we click the pencil icon to edit it, what we need to do is we need to find the drop down for the status of the service. So in this case, let's say successful completion. And then we'll go ahead and update the customer service. We'll need to add a case note. Okay, we can see that that's been updated successfully. Going back just one page, we'll see that this service, the remaining service, has been successfully completed. So back on the program follow-up tab, we'll need to refresh the page so that we can then remove this prompt here for the customer has open services. So now that we have refreshed the page, what we'll then need to do is add the completion status. So we'll click Edit Completion Status. And in the dropdown, we'll make the selection for complete. You also have the options for incomplete. If the customer is withdrawn from the program, you can select withdrew or in progress. So we're going to mark complete. And then we'll be provided another dropdown for the exit reason. And so in this case, we'll say enter OJT employment, and then we'll click save. And then we'll be asked to leave a case note. So we'll enter our case note. And then we'll see that the completion status now shows that is complete, along with the exit reason and the date that this was added. Below this, though, we have some other windows that can open up. So in this case, employer, we can add employer follow-up. So once, after the program, we can, follow up with the customer and, determine employment. So you can click add employer, and then you'll just fill out the questions that are asked here. So it begins with, are you currently employed by this employer? And then we have the required fields for employer name, job title, SOC code, the employer, city, state, zip code, the hourly wage, job duties, hours per week. And then there's 2 questions here. Did they receive a raise or promotion, and do they receive fringe benefits? So you can plug in this information for the employment follow-up. And once we have added that employer information, we'll then be able to see that information populate in this table here. Similarly, we have a couple other ones for post-secondary. If they've entered post-secondary education or apprenticeship after the program, that can be added as well. You'll just click those buttons and fill in the name or the fields that are required. So for post-secondary, we have provider, program name, start date, and some notes. For apprenticeship, when we click the Add Apprenticeship button, we'll see apprenticeship type, the provider name, the name of the program, the start date, and the Rapids ID. And that information can be saved here as well. And we have a few other windows here, earn credentials. So when you have been updating their customers' training services and their career plan, when you designate that they've earned a credential, that'll populate in this field here, in this window here. I'm going to quickly add a credential so that we can see just what that looks like. In the next part here, we have success stories, and you can be redirected to our success story page on Illinois WorkNet if you click the Add Success Story button. And there's more instructions on how to add a success story, including videos and handouts and more. So you can add a success story for the customer as well. And the last one here we have is follow-up case notes. And after the program completion, we have a note here that follow-up should be done as often as necessary, 1 year post-exit. However, at a minimum, it should occur at least every 30 days for the first 3 months, and then must occur once a quarter for the remainder of the 1 year follow-up period. So when you do need to add a case note, you'll click the Add Follow-Up Case Note button. And this should look pretty familiar. You'll have the case note window here. In this case, we can select follow-up, or actually, in this case, post-exit follow-up. Contact date, just leave the subject of the case note and the text there. And then we just need to add the post-exit follow-up case note. And that covers all the information you can add and update on the program completion follow-up tab for your customers in JTED.